Hey guys, this is Peter Strzelecki with the Pittsburgh Pirates, and this is the Step Up Podcast.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Step Up Podcast. It's your home team, Nelly. I got my co-host, Ali.
What's going on?
I got the home team with me, someone close with me, Peter Strzelecki. Ooh, I said that right?
That was close, yeah. Not Trez, but yeah, how we doing?
Will you say it just once?
Yeah, for the crowd, let them hear.
Strzelecki.
Okay, one more time because he was talking.
Peter Strzelecki.
Not Strzelecki, it's Strzelecki. Strzelecki is like the Latin way to say it.
Well, we Latin here, boys. Welcome to baseball.
A little spice on it.
So glad to have you, man. I'm excited for you being here. Let's get into like a little bit of, you growing up. I know you're a Palm Beach baby a little bit. You're a basketball player before baseball, no?
No. I mean, I wish I was, but yeah, I grew up playing baseball. I was born in New York, moved here when I was 5 years old.
Okay.
Been playing baseball since I was 7. Didn't play basketball until I was in middle school, but I'll still tell everyone I'm a basketball player over a baseball player. But yeah, I've been playing baseball since I can remember, and I'm here now. So I mean, I'm sure we'll get into details, but yeah. So.
What age did baseball get like serious for you, or you kind of see a future for yourself?
Like a real future was definitely high school, but like as a kid, I always thought like baseball. But then when I fell in love with basketball in like middle school. I always played basketball and just loved it. And then I'll never forget, I had a moment when I was I think I was a senior in high school. And I've already committed to a JUCO at that point. And my basketball coach, like, crushed my dreams. And he was like, hey, man, like, I know you want to keep working hard and, like, keep waking up early, but, you don't need to do that anymore. Like, you're going to go for baseball. So, like, just enjoy this. He was like, just enjoy this. And I was like, all right. Like, so I just started, like, taking it in more, and that was where my dreams got crushed as a basketball player, but that's where my dreams became real for baseball, I guess.
That's dope. So would you like to say to the kids and stuff, but being a two-sport athlete kind of helped you out a lot?
Definitely. I mean, I even played football too for a little bit in high school. So, I mean, even now with the kids, we coach because, I coach a 12U baseball team. But we're big on just like play as many sports as you can. Obviously you do it to a certain extent, where you're not crushing your body. We live in Florida here, so it's a lot easier to be out more. So sometimes that could be harmful to the kids. But, yeah, I truly believe the more sports you can play, the better off you are. Sure. I think it just helps you in every aspect of the game. So
you're playing, training, coaching. What's like throughout your year, where you live most of the time? So you're out here a couple months out of the year? Yeah,
so as soon as season's over, I come home. I have a home in Palm Beach. I live there. That's where I'm from. And then, yeah, my team is year-round, but, I even through the baseball season, I'm still in touch with all the parents and, keeping tabs on that. And then when I get home, man, it's straight to the grind. Like,
Awesome.
And I enjoy it. I look forward to the off-season just as much as you look towards the season. I look towards the off-season because it's fun. Like, it's different. But, Monday, Wednesday, we have practice, and then the weekends we have games. But I still have, I try to make time for my family, obviously, but sometimes I got to be a little better at that. But I just enjoy the grind. So I train in the morning and then, come home, eat, and then, do whatever we got to do at night with the team. Yeah.
It seems like you got a crazy schedule to at least, big leaguer, traveling, and you got to go coach. I mean, it seems like you got everything set up. What's some advice you could give some of these coaches out there? Because that's a full-time job being a baseball player. You got to worry about your body and everything, and then go handle kids and parents. What's some advice you can handle? Like, how do you separate your time and yourself? Not, my biggest thing as baseball players being coaches is they compare themselves to the players. How do you separate yourself and all that?
Well, first, I definitely take it to a point where I set time for that, and then don't allow that to like take over everything. And I think with parents, sometimes they fail to realize that. So I try to tell that to the parents. And then when it comes to the coaches, like the advice I'd give them, like, especially if you're passionate about it, it's like, it's hard to not think about it a lot, but you have to like separate that. You have to understand, like, there's got to be time where you don't just let it, contain yourself with your mind and your body, and like you have to separate yourself, like, because it is frustrating at times too, right? Like, but you have to like remind yourself they are kids, like, and you can't compare yourself to these kids, right? Like I may have been better or worse at that age, right? So it's just every kid develops differently, so you can't compare yourself to the kids. You have to just take each kid as they are and try to figure out where, you know, you can help them and without trying to compare that. And I don't even want to compare them to other kids, really, because now you're not like, I don't know, they're just, everybody develops differently, you know? Kids grow faster than others. You know, my brother was a late bloomer. He's 6'4" now. He didn't grow until after high school. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I think that's a great question. Like, it just, you know, you just got to make sure you separate all that stuff and don't let it consume you too much, because, you know, you got to worry about yourself. And I think it'll make you a better coach if you do that as well. You know what I'm saying?
It's almost like you don't take it personal. You know?
Yeah.
Don't take it personal. I like that.
How do you think coaching while playing has made you a better player?
I mean, it definitely, it allows me to look at the game differently. You know, when you get to the highest level of baseball, sometimes you lose your love for the game because it becomes such a business, and you fail to, you know, you get so caught up with all that stuff that you fail to remember, like, you played this game because you love the game, you know? So when you come back to this and you see the kids having fun, you just got to remind yourself, like, this is why I do this.
For sure. It brings you back to why you started.
Exactly. And like the good days when I was playing travel baseball, and it was really just, I'm traveling with my friends and my family, and like we never did vacations. Our vacations were baseball tournaments. You know what I'm saying? So that is always good, especially when you have a long year. It might not have gone the way you want it to go. You come back and like that reminds you, like, you know what, like even through all the craziness in the professional season, this is why I do this, you know? Yeah,
for sure.
That's dope. So let's get into some of the cool stuff in your life. You know, you made it to the bigs. Tell me about that. You know, when I first met you, you were in the minors, didn't have an agent. You know, tell me the journey from there. You know, your life, different teams kind of bounced around a little bit.
Yeah.
Even earlier, if I can interrupt, what was the journey from, like, you said JUCO? What was like the JUCO to just your draft journey like?
Yeah, so I mean, I got a pretty crazy story, I guess. I mean, I'm sure there's crazier stories out there, but yeah, I was I think I pitched 2 innings my senior year of high school. I had you know, I had an arm injury. I had like a bone spur in my elbow, so that held me back. Was fortunate enough to have Palm Beach State College, the JUCO, interested in me still. Went there for 2 years, got healthy. Got hurt there though, had Tommy John, but gave me the opportunity to play in front of a lot of other schools, you know, Division I, professional scouts. Was fortunate enough to commit to the University of South Florida. Went there for 2 years, well, 3 years, played there for 2 years. Was able to showcase again myself in front of professional scouts. Wasn't drafted though, which was kind of crazy because you know, I felt like I pitched well there when I was in when I was at USF, but you know, created that chip. Brewers, the Milwaukee Brewers, you know, they signed me as an undrafted free agent, and you know, the journey wasn't easy in the minor leagues, but I had a lot of good people around me. The Brewers were a great organization to come up with, you know, and just got better even as I was climbing the ranks, you know, learning about myself and how I pitch and all that stuff. And then just continued to push, you know, worked hard. Obviously, the chip was there for, you know, everything I've gone through at that point. And then just timing was great, and I was able to debut in 2022, and you know, continued the same with the same chip. But you know, then get traded to Arizona, that didn't go as well. Then get traded to Cleveland Guardians, that was pretty good. Met a lot of good people there, and now with the Pirates, so excited for that. But yeah, my journey is pretty crazy.
It's crazy. But it's definitely a story of like perseverance, you know, with the 2 injuries, and then even the mental side of getting traded and up and going. I think we were chatting a little bit before the camera started rolling, but like, that's just incredible to hear. I think when you have an injury like that, people can so easily just buckle, or it becomes a game up here. That to hear you keep going, here where you're at, it's just admirable. It's sick.
Yeah,
that's one of the biggest things that, you know, I like to preach and tell all my guys that I coach and I'm around is you have to be mentally tough, because what you just went through, A lot of people are done. They give it up. It's easy. You know, my brother used to come back home and it's be like, I don't want to look at a baseball. I don't want to look at a bat. Let alone I'm bouncing to team. I don't have no foundation. You're trying to figure out. So, what's a good advice? You know, I keep asking this for you. You know, I'm always gonna ask to give to these kids to have type of mindset like that. You know, I don't make my varsity team at freshman year. You know, I don't make any high school team at that point. I'm going to an academy now. What can you give them to keep going? Because you took the longest route anybody could take.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I already tell these kids now at this age, right? Like, you may go to your dream, because a lot of these kids already they know what high school they want to go to.
Yeah.
So I tell them, like, listen, like, you know, be open-minded and be able to play different positions. Like, you could do that now, right? Like, at this age, you know, you don't have to just be a shortstop or a center fielder. Like, the more positions you can play, you know, you might go to your favorite high school and they got a shortstop who's a sophomore, and you're only a freshman, so they might be there for the next 3 years or whatever. So you either are going to play if you play another position, or you're not, or you're going to have to transfer. So that's for the young kids. For the older guys, like, I mean, dude, like, you just got to tell yourself, like, how much do you love this game? Like, how much do you, you know, and obviously in the professional level, like, you can support your family. You can, you know, there's things you can do with that financially. So for that, it's just, you know, how much do you love the game, and how much do you how much work do you want to put in? How much sacrifice do you want to make, right? Like, I was willing to do a lot of that stuff. But you have to also understand, like, people don't care. Nobody's going to see it. So you have to be willing to do that when no one's there, right? You got to be willing to do that stuff, like, when
discipline.
Right? Like, you got to, the days you don't want to do it, those are the hardest days. Those are the days I feel like that change people's careers, right? The day you wake up and you're just either really tired or really sore.
I don't feel like it.
Yeah, just no motivation. Like, those are the days that change guys, in my opinion, and get them past that to that next level. So that's what I would tell the older guys, and then the younger guys is just, and that's what I preach with my team now, like, play every position, man. Like, try to be great at every position, because if you're great at every position, even if you don't play that position, at least now you know and what to expect from that position. When you're playing shortstop and a ball's hit wherever, you know where the third baseman's going to be because you played that position, or the catcher, you know, those type of things. So,
no, I mean, it's great advice for me, because basically there's 95% of the guys never play the position to get drafted for, besides pitchers. You know, a lot of these guys, you're a shortstop, you end up in the outfield. If you're an all high school shortstop, you're always in the outfield. You're a catcher, you end up in the outfield. Everybody, right? So it's good to learn everything.
What's interesting? Sorry,
go ahead.
I always cut you off. I like to cut you off.
Hey, I see it.
But, like, I told you I could yap. But kids, I feel like, that say, like, oh, I'm a shortstop, or I'm a catcher, I'm a this, I'm a this. I feel like it takes away from that capacity of what you touched on earlier with, like, you're an athlete. Like,
no, you limit yourself. And your money. You know, how can I draft? I ain't gonna draft one-dimensional 100%. Guy. I need somebody to move around, which that's awesome. Pete, so I want to touch a little subject with you. I know, you know, obviously I know you for real. You know, I know kind of what motivated you was your dad, right? Yeah. You know, you started compete. Talk to me about this whole, you know, compete thing. Your father, I know he passed away. You know, all that good stuff.
So when I was in college, you know, I lost my dad, like, suddenly, and you know, it was obviously a crazy moment for me, but it was a moment to grow and, like, become a man. And, like, when I was a kid growing up, he always would, you know, he'd always tell me, like, hey, you know, if you ever make it to the big leagues, I want you to get back to St. Jude's. St. Jude's was, like, a very, like, important thing to him. You know, he lost his brother at a young age to cancer. So he always preached that to me. And as a kid, I never understood that. I just would listen to him, like, okay, Dad, like, whatever. You know, so then I'm at USF, and, you know, they started this whole thing where, like, they'd post, compete with however many E's for strikeouts, whatever, right? So that kind of caught on, and then I get to pro ball. And then, you know, some of my buddies would just be like, oh, you can't spell compete without Pete, you know. And it was all funny or whatever. But, you know, as I continued to go up, you know, I was fortunate to make it. And then it all hit me, you know, because it was crazy, right? Like, you go through that stuff, and, you know, my dad sacrificed everything for my family. So, like, for him not to be there for that moment, you know, it crushed me. It definitely did. It was tough. Like, you're going through all the highs, but you got to, you know, the lows were coming in at the same time. So I was like, how could I do something for him? Like, what can I do? And, like, between, you know, my family, my buddies, whatever, you know, I just thought of it like, all right, like, what can we do with this compete thing? So it's a brand, but it's not really a brand. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's a movement.
Yeah, we have you know, clothes, hats, whatever, but we have the travel team now, right? I want to be able to impact the kids, right? Like that. And then when I was in Milwaukee, I was starting to get involved with a children's hospital there, a cancer children's hospital. And unfortunately, I got traded, and I've kind of been on the move since then. But that's the goal, man, is to be involved with that, to give back to my dad, and then also just to give back now to the community where, if I knew these things when I was their age, who knows, right? Maybe I would have been drafted higher. I don't know, like whatever it is. But, it's a way for me to give back, man, and kind of, all the things my dad sacrificed for me and my family, like, it's a way I feel like I'm giving back to him a little bit and keep him going,
That's
Nah,
beautiful.
that's dope. My family's big with St. Jude. We prayed to St. Jude, and my mom beat cancer twice. I get
That's
it.
awesome.
So that's awesome. That's to me is motivation. I can't imagine losing my father, someone that looked up. But I will say you did a great job. You and your brother. You guys are good dads without being a dad yet. Take care of your nephew really well.
Thank you.
So I watched and your brother. But
When you talk about that moving around, just even the process of getting traded, have you found a time in your career when it was like an unexpected move or kind of something that affected you, like off the field or on the field, of making those moves? And I think of baseball players recently as like soldiers, like you're in the military and they're like, oh, you're getting shipped off, or oh, you're getting moved. You're going, and that could be hard on a family.
Yeah. I would say the first time I was ever traded, when I went from Milwaukee to Arizona, it caught me by surprise. Like, that was where the business came, right? That was the first time I really witnessed how the business works, because I knew everybody from the Brewers, from the top to the bottom. The love I had from the support staff there, trainers, coaches, strength coaches, whoever, right? It was insane. Like, and then even all of my boys on the team, and even the community, right? Like, but getting traded, it was weird. It definitely affected me, and probably more than it should have. I didn't pitch as well as I probably could have when I went to Arizona. I definitely didn't pitch as good as I could have. I know that, but it definitely caught me by surprise. But from that point on, once I came home from that season, I really just focused on, like, okay, can't be surprised with anything now, right? So I try to just learn from it. I can't be surprised with any of this stuff, and you need to have people in your circle that truly care about you, and no matter what's going on, like trade, not trade, like you can lean on them, right? So that for me was probably like the one in time where I was like kind of thrown off, but
for sure.
Yeah.
At least you had a good support system to help you out there get through that.
That's big. How did you two meet?
Cressy's. Max Rios.
Yeah.
Shout out CSP.
We both were coaching. We were helping that little team out.
Really?
Because I've known Max since I was the least in high school.
Okay.
And then he got me coaching. That's how I started coaching.
What year was that? Like, was that when I was at CSP?
It's like 4 years ago.
Okay, so
Yeah,
a little bit before I was out
yeah.
there.
Was it before COVID or?
It was before COVID, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before COVID. We were locked in the crib for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was there. We met, and he didn't have an agent, and then we ended up clicking up. We knew the same people, and then it worked out for him. And it really
Awesome.
did. It was
It's
dope.
a small world.
Really,
Small
the baseball world is small. I think we all starting to
It
figure
is,
that out.
especially when you start playing on different teams. It's crazy. You start, and then they start moving around. Everybody. Yeah, it's crazy.
No, that's dope. So, I know we've been talking a lot of cool stuff, and ups and downs, but I want to talk about something like, what's your greatest moment in this big league? That's what every kid's dream. What is your moment that
In
you
the big
remember?
leagues?
Yeah. I know what mine is. I remember when you walked off the field like you were Conor McGregor. That was my favorite moment.
Yeah.
Cursing all the way through.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know, man. Obviously, like, making it to the big leagues the first time is crazy. That was wild. But I guess, like, the coolest moment was getting my first career save. Like you don't realize how hard it is to get a save in the big leagues until, like, you play there for a couple of years, and so that was pretty cool to me, actually, you know what? Maybe so. A buddy of mine in the big leagues. It took him like 100 career appearances to get his first career win as a reliever, and I got my first career win in my major league debut.
Oh, that's dope.
So I guess I have to go back to the debut then, because like the fact that he told me that was kind of crazy. Like he was in like his 4th season or some crazy stat or something.
Shifts your perspective.
Yeah, so I was like, that happened all in the first day. So that's probably
crazy.
That's probably.
No, that's
When
dope.
did that like coolness wear off, or has it? Or you still step on the field and it's like, holy cow?
No, I never take it for granted. Every time I walk from the bullpen, if I didn't pitch that day, every time I walk from the bullpen to the dugout, I always look up to, because they always talk about how there's that third deck in the big leagues, and I always look up to the third deck and the lights, and I always like just take it in, man, like, because you never know when could be your last time doing that walk. So I always, that, and when I show up every day to the clubhouse, you know, your jersey's always in front of the locker. I never take that for granted, just especially because how hard it was and my journey. Like, I never take that for granted. Those are the two things I always do.
Special.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope. Well, P, I appreciate you coming here. I think we touched on a lot of great subjects. Is there anything you want to, let these guys know?
No, I mean, I appreciate
FTB tryouts coming up.
Yeah, we've been doing trials. But no, I mean, I appreciate you guys. Like, honestly, like, obviously, you know what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, Nelly's obviously you helping me with the travel stuff and trying to grow a program for us. It's all love, man. And whenever I can do anything for you guys, you let me know. I'll do whatever I can to help.
Good to see you.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure, man.
You guys heard that, right?
Good
So I need that
people.
autograph with that new Pirates jersey. All right? You heard that?
When I get mine, I'll give yours.
I think I'm a Pirates fan now.
But nah, man, I really thank you guys. Thank you guys. It's your host, Nelly, in the building. I got Ali.
Thanks, guys.
Home.